He had just reached the conclusion that it was a broken family when Sylvia headed not towards the top of the platform, but the bottom. And she went straight to the end of it. It's strange. He had many questions. There is, usually, a wall between the direct and collateral lineage that could not be overcome. If it were the direct line, it would not be as strange as the collateral line very obviously provoking a fight. Furthermore, Sylvia lived separately, and could not head up the platform. It was obvious that she was being discriminated against for some reason, even if she was of the direct line. What's the reason? It might be from being called an outlaw and a loser, or because she lost a spa or a war. Clang! As he was considering the reason for the discrimination Sylvia was facing, the soldiers standing outside the door of the audience chamber brought down their spears. The head of House Zeekhart, ruler of the North. Lord Glenn Zeekhart has arrived. With that, the large iron doors of the audience chamber opened wide. Glenn Zeekhart revealed himself with a domineering shock that rang through the air, at which the very atmosphere seemed to tremble. Gravity seemed to be heavier, and it became difficult to breathe from his arrival alone. A suffocating tension ran through Rayon's spine. Lord Zeekhart. The dragons looking down from the top of the platform, as well as the wolves who bared their teeth from below, all knelt at the same time. Thump. The sound of his footsteps. With the same hard sound of his footsteps as 5 years ago, Glenn Zeekhart entered. He spread his absolute presence, which weighed down the entirety of the audience chamber, as he sat down on the golden throne in the middle of the platform. Let us begin. The moment he flicked his fingers, a sword burst from the middle of the audience chamber. It was an enormous stone sword, which seemed like it would be difficult for even giants to hold up. That must be the Sword of Judgment. The sword, an object from 1,000 years ago, was said to be able to identify a person's aptitude for mana when they put their hands on it. The judgment ceremony utilized the stone sword to determine the children's aptitudes. First, Baron Zeekhart. Upon hearing his name called, a boy with blue hair, sitting in the second row on the platform and looking to be around 6 years old, stood. Please put your hand on the sword. When he came down to the platform, the master of the ceremony pointed at the stone sword. Baron nodded his head and placed his hand on it. A green light blossomed from the Baron's fingertips and enveloped the entire sword, and a thick air bloomed from the hilt. Ooh!